Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tales of Eldura, session 15, which feels very fancy. So, we have just made it into chapter 2 of Descent into Avernus, which we relocated to our homebrew world of Eldura, but we've just made it into the negative planes, which is really exciting. And so we'll be kind of following our wonderful characters with that tonight.
Yes, and before we do, we have to acknowledge that our wonderful stream is brought to us by Beth's wonderful novel. Buried Heroes tells the story of a world of high fantasy, magic, and nature that teeters on the brink between light and darkness. Ancient forces awaken, and new heroes rise to the occasion. But this time, can they prevail? Find out in this exciting first-in-series novel packed with druids, pirates, werewolves, and more. You can and should. Hey, stop being
Oh no, she has his
enthusiastic.
slipper.
No.
She has his... Oh.
She's just laying here
She had it a minute ago.
innocently.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Buck is so enthusiastic because you
He
can
loves
purchase
Buried Heroes.
Buried Heroes wherever books are sold, and also at bethballbooks.com.
Thank you, honey. And our stream is also sponsored by our amazing patrons. We are so thankful for your support, for your encouragement, and just for the... for those of you who've been with us for a while, we super appreciate you sticking with us. For those of you who are new, welcome aboard. We have some new maps coming tomorrow that are some of the bonus maps we used from our stream that we're hoping might be helpful for you. And Jonathan's been working on an exciting new adventure for us for this month, right?
Oh yes, we're going to be exploring a fey forest in the midst of the darkness.
Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, we love interacting with you all on Patreon, and we're so grateful and thankful for your support there. If you would like to check out our Patreon, you can at patreon.com/GroveGuardianPress is where you will find us and a wonderful community of amazing D&D players.
Oh yes. Honey, is it time for my Garreth intro?
It is time for your Garreth intro.
Here we go. I'm Garreth Stosdak, heretofore a mild-mannered cleric. A mild-mannered blacksmith who was just plying his trade in the walled city of Respite. Recently, my life was upended when I heard that my son, in the city of Beacon, had been taken to the negative planes through the machinations of the terrible entity Azrael. In my quest to redeem him back to the material plane, I've allied myself with interesting and unique individuals, including Tessina, a witch from the Witchwood, Evelyn, an interplanar agent of questionable intent and background, and Princess Slobberchops, the Tressum. We've only recently managed to make it to Beacon after a harrowing encounter with a warlord and several other crazy events. But now we are in this sunken city and ready to make our way towards the Hall of Justice?
To the High Hall.
To the High Hall.
Or Hall of Justice. Maybe we'll switch back and forth between the two. But yes, the High Hall.
Tomato, towards my boy Patrick, who we've been warned should be rescued soon, lest we lose him.
Okay. So, Garreth, when we left off last time, you had spent 4 hours, I believe, searching through the library of the Witchwood, or the Arcanum of the Way of Words Witches. So, what I would like for you to do is to roll 3 consecutive intelligence checks for me, please. Actually, let's see. What about... I would be fine with religion or arcana, if you have proficiency in either of those also.
Religion, arcana, or history? I'm going to take history, if that's okay.
That wasn't one of your options.
Oh, sorry. Which one are they? Arcana, religion?
I'm just using... You can take history. Do you not have proficiency in religion or arcana?
No.
Okay, history is fine.
I've heard a story a time or two. I wonder what I remember.
We'll find out.
Ooh, spicy rolls, and without invoking Vulcan. 19,
What'd you get?
15, and a nat 20 for a 23.
Nice. Okay, so Garreth, as you search through the halls of the Arcanum, you come first across a tome about the hierarchy of devils, which I'm going to rule in my DM power gives you at least a reasonable sense of like which ones are most powerful, kind of at which times, where they are in the hierarchy of one another. So you know that Gargoth, the creature in your shield, is incredibly powerful. He chimes in a time or two and tries to tell you these stories about subjugating these other beings. But anyway, you tell him that he needs to just hold on to those charming tales for a few minutes. But you have a general idea as to the kind of hierarchy of devils. And so you have a turn. Do you have a turn fiend ability at all with your as a cleric of the forge, or is it just undead?
So all clerics have a turn undead, but I don't have a turn fiend.
Okay. Okay, then I'm going to say you do have a general understanding of kind of the hierarchy of devils, where lemures are pointless, and it kind of goes imp up to pit fiend. And so you may not know every single one of the different types, but I think how that will actually play out in our game is you having a general idea when you see a devil of how scary it is. Does that work?
Yeah, that sounds great.
The second thing that you discover is a daring record of some of their weaknesses as well as their strengths. And so you learn that in general, they tend to be resistant to non-magical attacks that are not made with silvered weapons. They also tend to be immune to fire damage. Many are immune to poison damage and cannot be poisoned. And so you and your party do take that into account as you're kind of it's fine for you to share that with Evelyn and Tessina, and to kind of take into account as you guys are preparing to go into the negative planes. You also, as you're doing this reading, I'm going to say, since you rolled so high on your last one with your nat 20, you know that most of them tend to be resistant to spells. Not immune, but at least they're going to be more resistant to spells. Did she just sneeze? Is she okay?
Carolina has the Rona.
Don't say that. Sorry, everybody. She licked a water bottle that she found earlier today, just sitting in the parking lot.
It's not good.
Well, she didn't lick it. She smelled it before we got her away from it. Anyway. Honey, what is one thing that you would like to know about devils? What's something that Garreth is looking for?
I think that Garreth would be interested in knowing and understanding as much as he could what motivates or drives various devils, and what are... Garreth has turned into like way more of a social character than I thought he was going to be, and so like if there's any indication that they can be manipulated, or like there's like kind of a character flaw within them, he'd be very interested to know that.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, sorry. I left out that they tend to be able to see through magical darkness and have resistance to cold damage as well, which I always forget about. Because it seems like something they should be vulnerable to, potentially. So, Garreth, as you're reading, you come across this third tome that outlines for you that devils tend to be very power and hierarchy driven. But then you come across some conflicting accounts, some of which proclaim that these creatures are incredibly lawful and that they are hyper-bound to their word. But that account is side by side with one that says that they are tricksters and liars and can't be trusted any further than their spines can be thrown, or their barbs can be thrown. So you know that they desire power over both one another and over mortals, that many of them do trade in souls. But that they're going to have some kind of individual preferences as well. In the same account, you do come across that one thing that does tend to unite them is their enmity with other types of fiends, specifically demons who they view as agents of chaos. And so when push comes to shove, they will tend to work together with one another to hold back demon hordes from kind of some of those pushes. And just so everybody else knows, and for us to talk about for our world building, we aren't bringing in the blood war in quite its binary fashion in the way that it's written for Faerun, for the Forgotten Realms. But there is some tension between demons and devils across the negative planes. But for us, the negative planes aren't this just even, like you have the abyss on one side and ordered 9 levels on the other. It is more of a disordered place that does have pockets that are open for power, because the kind of archdeity over the abyss has been vacant for an extended period of time. So kind of our big bad Alessandra is running the negative planes right now. But she does have some power vacuums, but she would just as easily align herself with someone on the material plane as she would a pit fiend, for example. Honey, does it help to kind of set up some of the expectations for the negative planes?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
It's good to know what Garreth has an idea of and what is still kind of fuzzy for him.
Yeah. And do you have any other questions about that? And then I was going to look at our Avernus map for just a second before we look at the Elturel map. Just I want to make sure when we dive into the session, I want us to be able to be really immersed in it, but especially because we did a bit of a pan during the last session, I wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page.
I don't think so. My copy of the map doesn't have any places on it, and I know that Garreth would have a good idea of what the city should look like. I mean, he's never seen this city drugged down to the negative planes or
Right.
anything, right? But he would have an idea that I don't, and so I'm just counting on you as a honey DM to let me know what I don't know.
Yeah. Do you want to look at that right now?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to move us and hopefully our thing stays.
I can't believe how pretty this map is, too. And it's super unique.
From a distance, it looks like a book to me.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, so as you can see, a large portion of the city, specifically down here, is missing. So that's kind of alarming. So you all are going to arrive. Can you see where I am at on the map? We need to hit the, is it shift click?
Yeah, when you shift click, I can, yeah.
Okay, so this is where you all are arriving. But if you'll zoom, are you zoomed out enough to where you can see where I'm clicking on this map?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I'm curious, but don't know what this big blob is because it's not labeled on my map either. But basically,
the conflagration.
So this is, what did you say?
The conflagration.
The conflagration. It's not good. It's not where you want to be. Okay, so we have the eastern and western halves of the city. The eastern half of the city is in much worse shape than the western half of the city. And so here we have the two bridges of Ilona. Ilona's light and Ilona's eye. I'll come up with a better name in a minute. So two bridges are the only thing that kind of span between the two halves of the city. The other major important places that Garreth is aware of, the tree told you, the blood tree told you to go to the High Hall, which is here in the western portion of the city. And I think that that's really what you need to know for now. And then later on, if Garreth needs to know about something, I can let you know.
One important question, honey DM. Garreth lived in Beacon before. I mean, it's been decades since he's been back, but he lived here. Where is there a cool place story-wise for his house to have been located?
I assumed that with your connection to, with your wife's connection, especially to Vulcan, and we can kind of choose. So over here is another place of note, the Grand Cemetery. I kind of assumed that Garreth and Melina, is that right? Lived somewhere nearish to High Hall and the Grand Cemetery. I think the Grand Cemetery is where most of your ancestors have been buried, Garreth, as members of honor in the military. And that the High Hall is where you were serving and working when you were injured and then unable to serve in the Army of Light. The High Hall, or the kind of the barracks just outside of the High Hall, are where Patrick would have trained. And then, so I mean, that's kind of where I was picturing you being from, would be in the western part of the city. But I believe that the whole city is one that you know really well.
For extra spiciness and drama, can Gareth's house have been somewhere kind of in between the two and then as close to the south as possible?
Sure.
So like question mark, is it still here? Is it fallen over?
Yeah. And I think we were talking about this a little bit earlier. I think one of the major questions for Garreth through this next section is going to be, how important is it to you to understand or see or deal with the state that Beacon is in right now, versus how important is it to you to find Patrick, help him, and then figure out how to get the city back to where it belongs. And that was the other thing I wanted to go over for us. There's this really cool picture. I should have showed it to you before we started streaming. Can you see that okay?
I'm going to try to switch it to the other camera so I can see it better.
Okay.
Ooh.
So this is the city anchored to the river Styx. So Beacon is floating 500 feet over the river Styx. And so once we're like ready to be in this new space, I can kind of set that scene up for you a little bit more. But this is, I think, one of the very coolest pieces of art in the whole book.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah. I was thinking about taking us over to the Avernus map just to kind of give you that general idea too. But yeah, please.
Before we leave, can you tell us one more time where Garreth thinks he is in Beacon? We do the click thing.
Garreth, you, after you land and get a chance to kind of get your bearings, you recognize that you are in the eastern part of the city. There used to be a passage down to the south that would have been really natural for you to take. I think this like courtyard something area, I don't know, maybe that was where they had festivals or something, has been obliterated. So this market space has been totally destroyed. The space where you are is in really bad shape once you land. So it's been here for a couple of weeks at this point, if not a little bit longer. And so Garreth is in for a very rude awakening. And Garreth, once you get a chance to kind of recognize the split that the city has undergone, that's going to be another point of concern, because you're going to at least hazard a guess, I think, that the military forces that defend the city have potentially been separated from these more residential and market districts, which you would be right to assume.
Can I?
And there's the whole southern portion of the city is just gone.
And one more question: do I see these black infernal spikes rising into the sky with chains?
So my impression is, I think that you all were maybe able to see that as you were flying in on Feldspar. But I don't think that they stick out above the city, since they're chaining the city down to the river Styx. I think it might make even more sense for you to have seen that in the orb before. Bless you. You're so cute. Before the matron took you down, I think she showed you kind of what it is that you're getting yourself into. And so if we were to like play the scene out in RP, for example, bless you again. I think that she would have shown you the city kind of floating, half of the island gone, over the kind of black and red lava flows of the river Styx on the negative plane.
Okay, how terrible!
And we could come up with a cooler name for the river Styx, like the River of Lost Memories or something. But I think especially the river Styx tends to be relatively well known across most of Western culture. So we'll stick with river Styx for now, and then we can rename it later. Yeah, it's really terrible. I'm so sad for poor baby Garreth. Does that kind of help?
Yeah, I feel like I'm oriented in Beacon.
Okay. Well then, honey, are you ready to find yourself there?
Yeah.
And you are level 5 now?
Yes.
Wonderful.
And Tessina,
All right.
I realized that I hadn't picked like 4 of Tessina's spells on her sheet.
Oh.
So she's just been super underpowered this whole time.
Now she's all set.
Now she's figured out.
Excuse me.
Zeke
Good.
in the chat suggests for the river Styx, river of endless dying.
I like it.
I like it too.
It's not good for sure.
It's not good for anybody, ever.
Yeah. Why do we name these places where we really don't want to go? Just run.
Ooh, just run. Like a run being like a... I don't know, isn't that... Okay, anyway.
Nerd. I'm just teasing. It is kind of lawful good or lawful something. I'm sure that the devils find themselves to be very just overlords.
I'm sure. Okay, are we ready?
I think so.
Let's go.
Okay. A hot, stinging air assaults your senses. The city street in which you stand is lined with buildings that are crumbling, if not already collapsed. The ground shudders beneath your feet. In the red, smoky sky, a 400-foot diameter sphere of darkness discharges strokes of bluish-white lightning that strike the city at irregular intervals. Perched atop a distant bluff overlooking the rest of the city is a crumbled fortress. So the second eye, the eye of Ilona, the beautiful, brilliant sun that shines over the city of Beacon, is utterly black and filled with smoke and shooting bolts of lightning down at the city about once a minute. And every single time one of these bolts hit, you see stones explode into the air, the ground rocks beneath your feet. And the crumbled fortress that you see is the remains of the once grand and glorious High Hall of Beacon. So it kind of looks like this.
Oh no. And that's where Patrick is.
That's where the tree told you Patrick is. 3 of the 5 towers remain standing.
I think as we land, Garreth is going to do a vibe check on Tessina and Evelyn to see how they're doing first. Is that all right?
Mm-hmm. What does he say?
Oh. I mean, he's just going to like observe their mood, their demeanor. I don't know that he would even say anything as he's kind of taking stuff in. Are they freaking out like he is, or are they cool?
Evelyn is scowling, but otherwise cool. Tessina's like, Princess Flower Chops, it's hard. She's hard to read.
Tessina,
Garreth, are you okay? This looks terrible. She gives you a hug around the waist.
This is the place where I was born. I'm not great, I'll be honest, but we have to carry on.
Well, what do we do first? Do we need to find your house where you were born?
Oh, I'm sure that it's destroyed. Here, let's...
What do you mean you're sure that it's destroyed? Where is it?
Well, as we flew in, I noticed that the southern part of the city, what used to be the southern part, I don't know if there are magnetic poles here where... Anyway, I noticed that it mostly was not there, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that there's the High Hall, and there is where the tree said that we would find my boy.
But Garrett, it doesn't it doesn't look very good or very safe over there. Are you sure that's what the tree said?
The tree said that we would be fine. Let's go. I think Garreth is going to, like, hearing and acknowledging what Tessina said, but just kind of choosing to not give it too much space, is going to set off without another word towards, he's going to go the western road, and he's going to be angling for the Elona's Eye Bridge, as to him it's the nearest place. And he's also going to be keeping an eye out for the conflagration and the market to the south, and just kind of, he's not like slinking through the streets, but he's keeping a wary eye out as he continues.
All right.
Oh God, that was fast.
Dramatic scene. You stomp forward away from a hurt Tessina and a scowly Evelyn and a flat-faced Princess Slobberchops. Around the corner of a still-standing structure runs a woman with 2 toddlers, one in each arm. In her wake amble 3 infernal monsters with glaives and snake-like beards. The fiends are laughing darkly.
Towards the lady?
Initiative. Around the corner. I'm sorry, can you see on the map? A still-standing structure.
Yes.
Here's the lady. Sorry, everyone looks the same in her family.
Oh, okay. It's a lady with,
2 toddlers.
Just twins.
I couldn't just...
Twinning.
Their whole family. I couldn't decide if they should be represented by 1 token or 3. So right now they have 3 that all look the same. So do the devils.
Okay.
First, I want you to tell me what you want to do. Then I want you to tell me... Then I want you to roll initiative.
There are shattered houses around us, right?
Sorry, so yeah. Are you zoomed out pretty well on the map?
I am now.
Okay. So next to you are houses, 1 or 2 shops that are fully together. However, just across from it, you see greater chaos, corpses on the other side of a fallen pillar that seems to have crushed someone beneath it alongside a tree, and crushed houses. This is so everyone, I was talking about the map that I made, and when I tried to get it to sync up to roll 20, it got stretched out a little bit. So my lovely corpses are accidentally like 7-8 feet tall. So we'll just say that they emotionally feel that size, and to give them the space to not be disturbed, have a larger halo effect than their bodies may be taking up.
Totally.
I don't want to be like too silly about it, but it's just like they accidentally ended up huge. And I tried to make them small. It just didn't work out very well.
Okay.
I wanted them out to like have a scale, but anyway, it didn't totally work out that way.
I mean, I think it makes sense for a body lying down to take up more square footage than a body standing up like we are in our little spaces.
Yeah, but not 7.5 feet.
I'm 7.5 feet tall. So now who are you discriminating
Most of
against?
us are closer to 5.
Okay, I'm going to roll initiative. Oh, okay. I'm also... Wait, I asked about the shattered buildings to either side of us. Is there like a safe spot for me to yell at them to roll into? Because I would do that.
The shattered buildings are further away.
What are these buildings to either side of me?
They're intact, mostly.
Do I feel... Okay, I'm gonna...
Buildings with roofs are still intact. Buildings without roofs are shattered.
I'm gonna yell at the people to get here as I brandish my...
Wait, where do you want them to be?
I'm gonna say... Yeah.
Ah, okay. You want her to run like further south and east.
Hide, we'll protect you.
Okay. Um,
And then I throw over
Cool.
my shoulder, let's make quick work of these bearded losers.
all right, so they're actually supposed to be a little bit closer to you. Cool. I'm going to bring the bearded losers just a little bit nearer
No, they should
as
be
well.
further.
Do you want them to be further away from you?
Of course, they're bearded, crazy devil things. Of course, I want them to be further away. I want them to not exist.
This says that they're within 30 feet of the location of your arrival.
Okay.
So one of my favorite things that Keith Amon writes about, and I can tell you while we do initiative, but he thinks that bearded devils are really funny, and so do I. He writes something like they're LOL beards or something, like for however it is that they really like make attacks. I think it's super funny. Thank you. So you're rolling initiative. Do you want to talk to people about what you're doing?
Oh yeah, I just rolled initiative for Garreth, who got a 12, and then Tessina scored a 9, and her familiar Princess Slobberchops, the Tressum Diva, will go on her turn. I'm really excited about Tessina's newfound power. I think being in the Witchwood probably like reignited some. She was like, "Oh yes, of course I can do these things that are it's totally cool." That's what I'm reading into. Her time in the library was more hanging out with the witches and learning about new cool things that she could do, and less about learning about devil physiology like Garreth was. I don't know what Evelyn was doing.
You won't find out unless you ask her. It was cool. Okay, let me get everybody in order. Astounding everyone, the mother with the 2 children will get to go first. She rolled a nat 20.
Get it, girl.
And then we have Evelyn, a couple bearded devils, Garreth, you and Tessina, and then another bearded devil. Do you want me to move that around a little bit so you don't have to go twice in a row? Or is that okay?
Oh, whatever you think, TM honey.
Okay. Cool. So you told this lady to run, so she's going to do that. 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15. So she and the, I'm going to say 2 little boys make it to the entrance of this building at the beginning of their turn. Does that work for you?
That's great.
I still have that rainbow heart on my screen. I don't know what it means. Okay. Evelyn is going to hold an attack. Did you share your knowledge of creatures and spells and everything with your lovely friends?
Oh yeah, we would have had hours to talk about those things, and Garreth is very detail oriented, so he would have shared anything that he thought was pertinent to his companions.
Cool. Okay. I'm gonna skip Evelyn for now, and we're gonna come back to her because that's like the one thing I didn't have a chance to do before our stream was like fix her stuff really well. So the bearded devils are going to go. They're going to kind of keep chasing this lady until they see you. So this one, the 2 nearest you, Garreth, you see kind of heading after the lady, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, until they see you and give like a shout of, "Hurrah!" And start 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Wondering whether or not you might be an even more engaging target for them. Unfortunately for bearded devils, they don't seem to have very many ranged options. So I think that they're going to actually close with you and this little family. So that's their turns, and it is your turn.
Okay, so goodness gracious, the first thing that Garreth is going to do is he is going to cast a spell he's never done before.
Cool.
He is going to cast Spirit Guardians.
Cool.
And
I
so
love that one.
as the devils surge forward towards the innocents, he's going to take his hammer of Vulcan and scrape it across his shield. Scrape, almost like flint against steel. And from those flecks of fire are going to spring forth little motes of animated, I don't know, fiery. Like if you zoomed super in, they'd look like really pissed off flaming dwarves with two hammers. They're like, ah!
I love it.
And
they're like the little Aether.
Yeah. And so they're going to swarm the whole area and cause everybody in the area within 15 feet need to... I'm going to designate, obviously, the devils, not the innocent people.
Oh, you get to decide.
Yes.
Okay.
Their speed is halved, and they have to make a wisdom saving throw if they start their turn there, and then bad things happen.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to set an aura around me. Let's see if I know how to do that.
You said they need to make a wisdom saving throw? Is that right?
That's correct. When they start their turn, they don't have to do it right now.
Okay.
So enemies got to do that business.
Oh, your aura is so cool.
Thank you. For my bonus action, I can't make an attack. Buck is trying to get under my desk.
Oh, we'd love to be there.
Yeah, I can't really do anything. Yeah, I don't have
bonus
any
action
wise. Bonus actions. Yeah, so I'm going to stay there, and I'm going to try to attract the bearded devil's attention to me as much as possible, so that I'm the biggest threat, and try to. I'm going to try to make sure that they don't. Actually, I'm going to move towards them.
Towards the family?
Yeah.
You know that you're provoking an attack of opportunity?
I take it.
Okay. He misses. So the glaive swipes towards you, but it's not able to make contact.
Cool. The best kind of attack.
Okay, so Garreth, are you all set?
I'm all set. That's my turn.
Okay. Tessina, it is your turn.
Ooh, Tessina has all kinds of cool new things that she can do.
Cool. What is she going to do for her turn?
I actually totally have her as more like way utility than... I was like, I'm going to pick some offensive things.
Oh.
Okay, she's going to cast Eldritch Blast at the devil that's in front of Garreth. So I think she's going to move a little bit to where she has a better line of sight. Is that okay? And she's going to cast Eldritch Blast at this one.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to move Princess Slobberchops to go with her.
So crackling energy snaps from her fingers. As she rolls a 25 to hit for 1 point of force damage.
How improbable. That hits. I'm so sorry, honey. But hey, now you can toll the dead. Does that help?
Yes, but it's not a bonus action. But yes, that does help. So that was 10 feet. She's going to protect Garreth from being flanked. So she's going to take one step down. And
so there's a tree there. So they can't flank you right now where you are?
Can she move here, though?
Yes, I'm sorry. She can be where she is.
Okay, she's going to take up that space.
That's fine.
So
I'm just saying there's a tree if she keeps going down.
Then they have to go around her. Okay. I think that's her turn.
Okay. So this next bearded devil is going to move as well towards you all. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15. He seems to be headed for the family.
Don't you do it.
Okay, so honey, I'm going to let you decide. For the family, would you like for them to disengage and dive inside?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what's the other option? Just taking blows?
No, I don't think they can really withstand that. If you had something else you wanted them to do.
Zeke suggests that the family should do some juggling or something to...
She's already got 2 children.
Juggle the children.
I think that's happening. Okay, she juggles the children into, just like in, what's his name in the office, into the building. She juggles the children. Whoa! Okay. So they don't get very far into the building.
Yeah, they're going to disengage.
I like the idea of them being juggled. Okay. And I mean, a lot of these buildings, yes, they still have roofs. Yes, they still have standing structures, but they are kind of falling apart just a bit still.
So able to like find their way through a doorway or a window or something.
Really fast, I'm going to let Evelyn take her turn. She is going to cast Primal Savagery on herself. And her like teeth and fingernails lengthen, and she looks kind of like a fey beast. And we'll get to do a cool thing on her next turn.
Cool. Does she want to move at all?
Oh, she does get to move. Okay. I was a little confused because it's one action to transform, but I was like, wait, does she get to do anything? Because otherwise it's kind of pointless. You just look cool and that would be like the whole thing. Cool. Unfortunately, despite her frightening teeth and claws, the scary beard of the bearded devil seems to be messing up what her fighting, and her teeth and claws for the time being rescind. Yes.
I think bearded devil number 3 entered my realm of influence.
Yes, what do you want him to do?
He needs to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. sorry, I lost my headphone. Okay. So he does get to make these with advantage.
No.
With an 18 save.
I mean, I guess.
He saves. So what happens if he saves? Is there
is there like a good
half
thing that
effect
happens?
or anything?
Yeah, let me find out. That would be really important to know. Spirit Guardians. It seems like a high enough level spell on a failed save. Half as much. So I still get to roll 3d8 damage.
Okay.
So half of 13 is 6.
Nice.
And it's radiant damage if that matters.
So I don't think they're actually vulnerable to radiant damage. You can keep smiling all you want.
I thought you were still looking and deciding a verdict.
Oh, sorry. I was waiting for the sheet to magically change while I looked at it, but nothing happened.
Okay.
Poor Garreth. Oh, shoot. And are they supposed to be frightened, or are they just having damage dealt to them?
I think it's just frightened. No, I think it's just damage. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Guess I should read my whole spell. Yeah, it's just frightened.
Okay. Wait, it's just frightened or it's just damage?
Damage is what I meant to say when I said frightened.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. So Evelyn is going to try her Primal Savagery attack one more time to see if it's cooler. And it is! Wow. Okay, so Evelyn does 14 points of acid damage against this bearded devil. That worked out really well. So her teeth are a little bit longer this time and claws sharper. As you see her kind of duck under its beard and stab it in the neck. I'm obsessed with the funny beards. Medusa is so cool with her hair, and I feel like bearded devils is just something that's lost for me.
What about a creature with snakes for different kinds of hair?
I mean, I think that's what it's supposed to be, but they just don't look very... It's something about the Medusa where, she's really powerful, and nobody else who's similar seems very powerful to me. Okay, it's the bearded devil's turn. They need to both make wisdom saving throws. Is that correct?
Yes. Make those saves.
Okay.
Actually, fail those saves.
Does a 16 or a 17 save?
They both save.
Okay, would you like to roll the damage together or separately?
Terrible for both.
Okay, how much?
5 for both.
Okay. All right, give me 1 second. So the one that Evelyn attacked is actually looking kind of hurt. He's not rough yet, but that's something. Okay. And the children are crying inside the thing. Actually, I would like for everyone to make a dexterity saving throw, please, as the ground next to you boom, shakes really, really bad.
Dexterity saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
Garreth is terrible at these. 4.
Oof. Okay.
Tessina rolled a 20.
Nice.
She's like,
okay. Garreth, I would like for you to roll one more dexterity saving throw as debris starts to fall from the building behind you.
7.
Okay, Garreth, you take 2. Oh my gosh, I rolled 12. I was gonna say 2, so we'll keep it at 2 points of bludgeoning damage as tiles from the shingle begin boom, 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 pelting you from above as you and Evelyn both fall prone during this sudden earthquake as the eye of Alona strikes the earth very near to you.
No. I'm going to put a prone marker on both of us.
And the bearded devil that's the furthest away from you also falls prone. Where are the markers? Are they under advanced? No.
If you right click and then hit the southmost tab.
Layer advanced. Ah.
I used the skeleton
You
only because it was on the floor.
Death, I think. Okay. Cool. So he got the skeleton also. Did you do Evelyn's or should I do hers?
I can't do Evelyn's.
Okay,
I think only you can.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. So that's pretty exciting. So that's their saving throws. The bearded devil across from Evelyn is going to make his attacks now. So beard attack hits. And his glaive attack, ouch, also hits. So Evelyn takes 17 points of damage. It's no good. So Evelyn kind of...
Did he already do his saving throw?
Yeah, they both stayed standing.
Yeah, and I rolled garbage. Okay.
Garreth, the one in front of you, is also going to make his attacks. He rolled a 16 and an 18. Somehow from the ground, being pelted with rubble, you have still managed to... You turtled and have saved yourself. Now I wish I should have stuck with the 12 points of damage that I rolled. Oh well. Out of like what would be 7 on average. It's crazy. Okay, so that's the 2 bearded devils' turns. It's your turn.
Is Evelyn rough or is she okay?
She doesn't look great, but she's okay for right now. She has Princess Silvertop's backing her up.
Okay, I'm going to maintain my concentration on my spirit guardians. And I'm going to... I'm going to do something awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use my bonus... Oh, no, because I dropped concentration. Concentration is such a bummer. Why can't I do everything I want to do?
Cool. For balance.
No! I think Garreth is going to... Oh, his hammer is magical from his... Like, that's his class thing. He's made his hammer magical. And so he's going to...
So how did that happen? Is it just is magical, or...
Yeah, so every day...
Is it like an action?
Every day, at the beginning of the day, I was before making his shield magical, but after I got my fancy shield, I said that every day he's making his hammer magical, and so his attacks are magical with his hammer. And so he's going to make an attack against the bearded devil in front of him.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. Nervous. Okay, here we go. So
What'd you do?
that is a 9 plus 6.
For 15, that hits.
Oh, good. That's a 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And that counts as magical. And he's going to use his bonus action to use his shield feat, his shield master feat. So he's going to make a push. If you use the attack action on your turn, you can use a bonus action to try to shove the creature. So he's going to bonus action try to shove.
Okay.
Which I think is...
Does this guy roll 2 for that? Or is it just like a melee attack?
I think it... I usually do it as a contested, like, strength or athletics.
Okay, so this guy needs to make an athletics check?
Yeah. I rolled a 21.
9.
So he gets pushed 5 feet back.
Okay. Now, since you've done that, do you also get to make an attack of opportunity? What does the Shield Master feat say about that?
It doesn't, but I was going to ask you because I still have my reaction, and so I feel like I should be able to use my reaction to make the attack of opportunity.
Just keep track that you've used your reaction.
Okay.
Or help me keep track that you've used your reaction. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Cool. Here comes the mace attack. 21 to hit for 6 points of bludgeoning magical damage.
Very nice.
Now the Shield Master feat makes sense.
Wonderful. Good. I'm so glad.
I was like, what is the point of this? Oh.
Garreth, you hear growling in your mind at the height of this battle. A smoke-rattled voice. At first, you can't quite discern the words. It's just kind of garbling aggression at you. But then you make out something along the lines of, we'll feed your bones to the river and sell the family from inside.
I'm sorry, and sell the family from inside?
Yeah, they're going to sell the family inside.
Oh.
Not sail down the river, sell. Oh, not that.
Sail?
Not that kind.
Too funny. Okay.
Tessina's turn.
Tessina is going to do something awesome, naturally. Tessina is going to... I think that Tessina is going to use an action. Yeah. She's going to use an action to... she's going to toll the dead.
Okay.
On... these... Okay. On the one that Evelyn is fighting.
Okay.
She's going to cast
So
Toll
what
the
does
Dead.
he need to do?
He needs to roll a wisdom saving throw, DC 15.
He rolls these with advantage. He rolled a 12.
Nice.
To roll your 2d12 damage, right?
Yes. Ooh.
Level 5 is so cool.
We level 5. 19 points of necrotic
19,
damage.
Wow. The devil in front of Evelyn screeches and looks terrible.
She says, "You are not a good person." I like to think of Tessina doing some
little finger motions.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
you really need to read more of Serpent and Dove.
I'm planning on it. I mean, the finger cracking is cool enough, but the...
Yeah. Signaling your intention.
Love it. So she's going to do that to that devil, and then her...
Cool. He's almost dead.
She is going to... Is there... Okay, there's a tree here, right? So she can't move there.
Yeah. I mean, she can kind of be in the tree. It's just, like, difficult terrain.
Yeah. She might actually...
And there's a street behind you. I just didn't have room for it on the map.
Yeah, I think she's
I wanted
gonna...
you guys to have more space, and I've just stuck us in the corner. Sorry.
I think she's going to take one step back with Princess Slobberchops.
Okay.
And then that's her
So
turn.
Tisina, does a 19 hit your AC?
From stepping back? Yes.
So the Devil's Glaive, even further than you would have guessed that it reaches,
Oh no!
splashes out towards you in retribution for injuring him, and you take 7 points of slashing damage.
Cool. Tisina will remember that.
Ooh, Tisina, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw for me as well. That really confusing one. Okay.
5. How
crap.
terrible.
Yeah, so this is the one where she and Evelyn lose 5 HP or 1d10 at the start of each of their turns due to their infernal wound.
I'm going to put a sad mask face on them.
Okay. Evelyn already has a sticker.
She can have multiple stickers.
Okay. All right, so the bearded devil who fell picks himself up. He's embarrassed because he looked down in front of all of his friends. This made him really mad. And so he whips around.
He makes a wisdom saving throw first.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, sorry, they're all like just chilling in your bubble. 20.
I don't know why they don't think this is more serious.
Poor Garreth. Okay, Garreth, does a 19 hit?
So homeboy takes 5 points of radiant damage first.
Okay.
A 19 matches my AC, which I believe hits.
Okay. Yeah, so the beard darts out at you. This one's kind of rattlesnake-esque. Go ahead and make a con saving throw for me, Garreth.
Did you just beard me? Oh my gosh, I'm rolling such garbage.
Okay, you are poisoned for 1 minute. And while poisoned in this way, you cannot regain hit points.
Good, I hate
Dun
hit
dun
points.
dun. If you help me remember, you can repeat your saving throw at the end of each of your turns, ending the effect on a success, which would be a DC 12.
At the end of my turn?
Yes.
Okay.
I think, can we go ahead and pause here for just a second at this like kind of climactic moment in our battle, and we will resume and see how everything shakes out?
Wait, we want to pause right now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
We'll come right back. Give me a fast break.
Okay, do you have a 10-minute break? Okay, 8:30 in 10 minutes. Tales of Eldura will pick up this harrowing combat. And we're back with more Tales of Eldura. Oh my goodness.
Cool. So, At the start of her turn, so as you all are fighting, an arrow comes shooting out of the window of the building. Garrett, thinking back, you did see the woman she did have a bow and arrow on her back, but it misses. It doesn't strike either of the devils.
Come on, lady.
You assume that this is probably because of the earthquake that kind of messed her up a little bit. I didn't hear the last thing you said. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I said, come on, lady.
Oh, she's trying. She's trying to protect her son. Okay. Evelyn, at the beginning of her turn, takes an additional 1 point of damage from her infernal wound. But she decides to do something really cool, which is... It is a 3rd level spell. Okay. So Evelyn casts... Oops, not Fireball. Also, honey, I got Fireball. Ah, where did it go? Erupting Earth. Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. So Evelyn picks a point kind of behind the Bearded Devils a little bit. That's going to kind of hit them in their cube. So a 20-foot cube centered on that point, kind of right between you and Tessina. I'm sorry, you and her. The area directly in front of you, the building beside Evelyn, the kind of that corner foundation of it, all explode. And so I'm going to roll the Devils' dexterity saving throws. And they roll these with advantage too, right?
Yes, that's correct.
What jerks. Okay, only this one is so much... He's just not as cool as his little friend. He always does so much.
BD number 3. He's our favorite Bearded Devil, and the one that'll die the fastest.
He is really cool. But I think he might be doing best right now. So half as much as a successful one. Okay. So the silly one takes thank you for doing the square for me. Takes 16 points of bludgeoning damage. The other two take 8. The one in front of Evelyn is reeling. He looks terrible. The one in front of you is doing pretty well still. The one behind him also looks very bad.
Cool.
So that's Evelyn's turn. It's now the Bearded Devil's turn, and he's extra angry, so he's going to slash out at Evelyn again. Probably.
She stood up in our turn.
Yeah, sorry. She stood up. He doesn't hit her. She dodges the beard, but she gets hit again with the glaive, which does... Next time it will do a second D10, which is kind of a bummer. So she takes 4 points of slashing damage right now. So Evelyn doesn't look great.
That stacking business. I think Garreth, seeing how poorly things are going for her and seeing her infernal illness kind of scars that she's having, like the slashes and stuff, I think Garreth would say, pull back if you need to.
She just kind of glares at you, but you get the sense that she'll listen. Speaking of, Garreth, the Bearded Devil in front of you is going to try to be really cool and impress his friends. Oh my gosh. Unfortunately, both his beard and his glaive fail your bajillion AC. So he does nothing again. And I know I'm not letting them summon other devils. I think that would get really insane really fast.
I think it's only certain bearded devils that can summon other bearded devils, you know? Like...
Well, I think as written, probably they're all supposed to be able to, but maybe one of these summoned his little friends. They do have names, which I thought was kind of cute. But Garreth, it's your turn.
Cool. Did they all make their wisdom saving throws?
I don't know. We'll find out. You're so funny. Why aren't they afraid of this? Okay. 10, 17, 17.
The 10 fails.
Okay, so how much damage does he take?
So he is going to take...
If you roll high, you might kill him. Wait, how did he heal?
I'm so... I don't understand how
I don't understand.
rolled this garbage damage every time. 9 points is the highest.
Wait, I'm so sorry. This guy healed somehow.
That's not fair.
Remember I said he was almost dead? He was supposed to have like 8 points. Okay, I'm going to say that you killed him.
Yay.
Because I somehow healed him. You killed the guy in front of Evelyn. He screams, grabs his head, and he falls on the ground. Do their bodies stay since they're in the negative planes?
If they die, it's up to you in your lore. So if they die... Traditionally, if a devil dies in the plane that it was made on, then it's dead forever.
Okay. I will think about that and come up with a really cool idea for the future. I forgot to decide.
The second one takes 8
Garreth.
points of damage that saved, and the other one takes 4.
We're going to use the same damage every time, just for simplicity's sake.
Okay.
Is that okay? I think that's what we did on the previous rounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to use your bonus action or anything?
Oh, I haven't done any of my things yet.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. It's your turn.
I'm going to do something awesome. Naturally.
Mm-hmm. Maintain concentration because you've taken 2 points of damage. You've taken 12 points of damage from the building, but...
Yeah, I didn't roll for that. Do you want me to roll for that?
No, I only had you take 1 or 2, and I decided you didn't need to roll for it, and now I wish it had been a little bit more exciting for you. But no, I think this is plenty challenging enough.
I'm going to cast Sanctuary on myself as a bonus action.
Is that concentration?
Nope.
Okay. And what does it do?
It's a bonus action, so, these devils are engaged with me, so I'm hoping that one of them attacks me, and when they can't, or if they can't, they have to roll a save to see if they can. If they can't, then he'll have to attack his friend.
What if he steps closer to you?
I have one engaged with me.
They have a 10-foot reach on their glaives. I'm just wondering what the wording of the spell is.
Oh, it's if somebody makes an attack on me, then they have to roll a wisdom saving throw. And if they succeed the wisdom saving throw, the attack goes through like normal. If not, they have to use their attack to attack whoever's closest to them, which would be his buddy. It's a first level spell.
Cool. Okay, thank you. The bonus action, Sanctuary. Sanctuary!
Yeah. I'm also... Am I poisoned right now?
You are in such a way that you can't regain hit points.
Okay. I'm going to use my...
But you can make your... you're going to make your... I believe it's a whiz...
oh, yeah.
You're going to make your save at the end of your turn.
Okay. So before I do that, I'm going to... So that was my bonus action to cast Sanctuary. I'm going to do an action to cast the cantrip Toll the Dead on one of these that looks worse.
That's the guy behind the one in front of you.
Okay, so
what
they
does
need
he
to make a
need to
wisdom
do?
saving throw.
18.
They save, so they don't take any damage.
What a jerk.
I know. So I'm going to stay here and I'm provoking their ire as much as I can because I want them to attack me.
Okay. Garreth, go ahead and roll your Constitution saving throw for is this the end of your turn?
And this is for the poison?
Yes.
6.
Okay, so you still can't regain HP. Tessina, is that, so you're all set? Okay, Tessina, at the beginning of your turn, your infernal wound opens further. You take 10 points of damage.
Poor Tessina.
I know.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Mm-hmm.
So her infernal wound, does that seem different than like how I've been wounded or how Evelyn has been wounded?
It seems different from how you've been wounded. It doesn't seem different than how Evelyn's been wounded. It just looks like it affected her worse this time.
Okay.
Sorry, it was just an unlucky roll.
And now it's Tessina's turn?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tessina. Goodness gracious. She is going to do something awesome.
Cool.
She is going to... I think she is going to cast another Eldritch Blast at this guy who's in front of Garreth.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you want to roll that attack?
18 to hit for 5 points of force damage.
That hits. Sorry, something crazy just happened. I think I accidentally did something to the Bearded Devil's stat block. That's what happened. I must have hit the wrong thing. Suddenly their AC in my little paper says 5. I don't know what... You can get up there. Go on. I don't know what happened or how to fix it. Anyway, 18 hits.
So for 5 points of force damage, I think... Yeah, they don't have resistance to force, to Gareth's knowledge.
No. So 5 points of force damage.
And she's going to... Can she use the rest of her movement to like withdraw into this house?
She started from right here.
Yeah.
She would provoke an attack of opportunity, which would not engage your sanctuary. Would it?
Oh wait, so she'd engage. She would take a attack of opportunity even if she moved behind this piece of cover here.
Yeah, because she's moving out of this guy's 10-foot range.
Okay, then never mind. She'll stay there.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Is that the end of her turn?
As a bonus action, she might quaff a healing potion.
Okay. Good idea. Do you want to roll your thing for that?
Oh, terrible. So she regains 7 points of healing potion. Healingness.
Okay. Tessina, as you quaff your healing potion,
you
notice
of course
that your terrible extra wound. You notice that your terrible extra wound heals.
Oh, it does heal.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so I regain 7 points of healing?
Mm-hmm. And she loses the infernal wound.
Weird. Okay. Losing track of the who can be healed and who can't.
You're the only one who can't be healed. The infernal wounds clear up if the person receives magical healing, which I think a healing potion counts as.
Definitely. Cool.
I thought that our Discord froze because you were so upset. And I was like, I can still see both of us and I can hear everything. I couldn't figure out what the problem was. Hey, buddy. I'm sorry. We're dealing with some puppy distress. Do you think you'll make it? You got wet earlier. I'm sorry. It's raining. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
So somehow I think I got the bearded devils in the wrong order. Because the one in front of you just went, didn't he?
I don't think so.
Oh, good. Okay. Sorry. It's his turn. So he's going to make his attack at you, which means he needs to make his wisdom saving throw. Which he fails.
Wait, with a 13 or lower?
He rolled a 7.
Yay. So he has to make his attack against his friend.
Can I see that spell just to make sure?
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
You don't trust me.
I do trust you.
It's clear. So I'm the creature that's warded.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to choose a new target or lose the attack. I guess he doesn't have to attack the other one.
Okay, so he can still attack Evelyn with his glaive.
Oh, with the 10-foot thing?
Yeah.
I don't like bearded devils.
They're crazy, right? But he
would have
misses.
moved. We would have moved. Well, no, for next time.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm just like tactically, Garreth would have moved to where nobody else could have been attacked. You know, like, but we didn't know, so now we know.
Now you know.
Now we know, and we will definitely remember for next time.
Another arrow, pew, goes wide. Oh, sorry, I bopped him in the nose. You can get under there. Go ahead. Go
That
on.
lady in the building needs to
I'm sorry, everyone.
have better shots.
She's trying really hard. I think she's still juggling children.
They should be
She's working
fletching
really
her
hard.
arrows or something.
Yeah, they could be doing something more helpful, probably. Okay, so Evelyn is getting a little bit tired of this nonsense, and so she's going to cast a moonbeam directly between these two bearded devils, since this is where we all are. They need to make a con saving throw or take 10 points of radiant damage.
Is she gonna do that the square closer to her or further from her?
So she's doing it to where it won't hit you, but will hit both of them. With the 5-foot radius.
Right, but north or south?
I think on the building, so it's not hitting anybody. Why isn't this one rolling? Oh, there it goes. Oh, I went too many times. Okay, they both save. So they each take 5 points. I figured out how to fix the AC too, so that's something. Okay, the one in the back looks really terrible. And Evelyn is going to, so that was her action. Cool. I think she's going to, oh shoot, I forgot to do her 2d10.
2d10's pretty major.
Yeah, what is this number? 6. Oh man. Okay. It's 14. I totally messed this whole thing up.
I don't even know what's going on.
Oh, sorry. Well, she took 14 points of damage, and so she should have, like, withdrawn. You're fine. Sorry, he's distracting me. She should have withdrawn, but I forgot about it, and so now she's, like, kind of trapped in this spot. And she can't jump back because if they hit her again, then she'll be unconscious. Okay, So it is the other bearded devil's turn. So honey, I'm gonna have him attack you. So he needs to make a wisdom saving throw. Oh, and he forgot to make his for your spell.
Oh yeah, my spell.
Okay, he failed that one. But he succeeded on the sanctuary one. So will you roll your damage for that for me, please?
13 points of radiant damage for the Spirit Guardians as they swarm around and tear at his...
Cool.
They're just like beating at his devilish flesh as they swirl around in a tornado of anger.
So, honey, what does it look like when... Let me make sure I have the right little guy. What does it look like when a swarm of spirit guardians kill a fiend?
I think it's just overcome, and I think they just kind of like... I don't know, I think he'd be... The whole time that they're fighting, they're being swarmed and beaten on by my little fire Vulcan Azer mini sprites. And I think it becomes a point where there's like a critical mass, and it's almost like the determination just like fails, and he just collapses and just is almost like consumed by the Azer sparks that I initially generated.
That sounds awesome. It's your turn.
I think Garreth is kind of like... I don't know. I think he would find some kind of like poetic symbolism in any metal heated hot enough and beaten long enough will fall.
Maybe that will serve you really, really well moving forward.
Probably. It's my turn. So I'm going to interpose myself between Evelyn and this other bearded devil.
Okay.
I'm going to try a first level Cure Wounds on Evelyn.
That's nice of you.
For 4
you notice
points.
that her infernal wound heals.
I don't know why I did it twice.
That's okay. You notice as you do that the kind of gaping wound that kept looking worse and worse across her torso heals when you do that.
And I will... For my bonus action, I will just scowl at the bad guy.
Okay. Good idea. Tessina, it's your turn then.
Tessina's going to use her cantrip to Toll the Dead.
Okay.
So wisdom saving
So
throw.
is that a con wisdom saving?
Of DC 15.
11.
Okay, so
Rolled an 11.
it's 9 points of radiant damage. Or necrotic damage.
Cool. Okay.
And then as a... she's she's not going to use a bonus action or anything. She's going to... Evelyn looks pretty rough, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think flavor-wise, Tessina's going to interpose herself in between the bearded devil and her friend Evelyn, and she's going to say, "Not on my watch, Buster." Even though she's at 3/4 health, she's not, unharmed, but
Evelyn's below a 4th.
yeah.
Cool. Okay, is that the end of your turn, Tessina?
I think so.
Okay. on the bearded devil's turn.
He makes a wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
Probably this will kill him.
He failed. Okay, come on up here.
"13 points of bludgeoning damage. Or not bludgeoning damage.
Wow.
Radiant damage.
Ooh. Okay, so guy looks super rough. He's like barely holding it together. He's gonna kind of hiss at you. We'll be back with more. And he's gonna disengage.
No.
And he is going to sprint away from you.
Which direction?
I think he's going to go back the way he came.
If it's okay, we would like to...
20, 25, 30.
Yeah, we're going to be pursuing and trying to finish him if we can.
Okay. I think... well, here, Garreth, we'll let you have the honors. What would you like to do?
I mean, if it's lady's turn next, then...
Yeah, but I would rather you... She still doesn't hit. I don't think. Not rolling very well. Poor lady.
And then does Evelyn have anything she can do?
She does, but why don't you go next? Fun for fun. Evelyn's gonna move her moonbeam. Bonus action. Wait. Oh, I can move it. And catch dude who needs to make a moonbeam saving throw.
Yes.
Or as it's usually called, a constitution saving throw. Oof. Okay, I accidentally rolled it so many times. He saves, but he still takes enough damage. Can I select this dude to kill him? Dun dun dun! Yay! So he vanishes into thin air. Yay!
Evelyn.
Zap! Another lightning bolt kind of from the sky, but you all are ready for it this time. Brace one another. And we're out of combat.
Evelyn, are you okay? Obviously not. Sit
better.
down.
I will be...
Sit down.
Okay.
We're going to cast Cure Wounds on Evelyn.
That's nice of you.
For 7 points of healing.
Okay.
And we're paying special attention. We want to see how the healing affects her, and like we want to have a good sense of... Garreth is a little mixed up on like which wounds are healing and which ones aren't and stuff like that, and so he heals her and pays attention to that.
Okay. Garreth, why don't you roll a medicine check for me just to see kind of in general. And you can roll with advantage because Tessina and Evelyn are helping you. And let's just see kind of what you're able to pick up.
18 with advantage.
Okay. So with your advantage, what you've figured out kind of tactically from this experience is when you're fighting bearded devils, their funny beards seem to have a poisoning effect. Actually, I don't know. Have you tried to heal yourself?
He's not tried to heal himself yet.
Okay, and did you succeed on your con saving throw? Will you go ahead and make another constitution saving throw for me?
Yes, I think we neglected that maybe. He rolled a 7 just now.
Okay. So Garreth, after about 40 seconds pass, you start to feel better. Is that fair? So what you noticed with your 18 is Evelyn and Tessina, after they were hit with the glaives, which have a 10-foot range instead of 5, after they were hit with the glaives, you noticed that their wounds continued to bleed and deepen, even if they weren't struck again. But when they were struck again by the same creature, their other wound seemed to be additionally affected. So if you had a cut first on your right arm and then on your left, you would have watched the right arm cut deepen when the left one happened.
Okay.
But you noticed that these were magically healed. I think what's meant to happen is a really cool mechanic, although crazy powerful, I think what's meant to happen is that you get hit with the beard, fail your save, and get hit with the glaive. So you basically bleed out because of this poison effect. Because if you're under both, you can't heal. But I think right now that they don't know about the magical healing from the beard, because it just wore off for you, and I think the beards missed everyone else.
Yeah. Cool. How harrowing. Evelyn, you're going to be okay.
And you watch Evelyn cast a Cure Wounds on herself as well. I am. Thank you. And you see little 3 heads kind of poke out of the building.
You in there.
Are they gone?
For now, yes.
You saved us! They all 3 come running out and kind of wrap you in giant hugs.
Stop. Wait. No.
I can't believe it. We're still our hero. What's your name?
Well, this is Princess Slobberchops, and he points to the flying tressum near Tessina, and he's gonna say, but we don't have time for you to worship at Princess Slobberchop's worthy paws. We need to make it to the High Hall.
I saw you. Oh, that's where we're headed.
You're going in the wrong direction.
What would you have had me do? Sacrifice the 2 of them and leave them behind?
Of course not.
Also, I was being chased by the devils. We were trying to flee. I was on my way to the bridge. You just arrived here. I saw it. That great beast flying out of the sky. We've been here for weeks. We've been sheltering in a tavern and ran out of food. Fine. We're incredibly thankful for what you did for us. The sooner you can get away from this half of the city, the better your chance of survival.
And the better your chance of survival... Wait. Listen. Can you guide us?
I'm going to take my sons across the bridge.
Can you guide us to the High Hall? I intended to go across Alona's Eye.
You can still go across there. It is guarded carefully.
What path were you trying to make towards the High Hall?
The same before my children and I were, were nearly captured. We've seen them drag many others away, but the tavern where we were sheltering ran out of food, and so it was no longer possible. I couldn't just watch them starve.
Where are they dragging people to? Do you have any idea?
Just know that they seem to be taking them away from the remnants of Beacon.
Listen, I feel like we've got off to a bit of a weird start. I'm Garreth Stosdak, and I used to live here in Beacon, and I've come to see if I can help the people here, but also I want to help my son, who is he's in the High Hall, and he was serving in the Army of Light. And
Okay.
Any information that you can give about your experience here or what happened? Perhaps we should shelter out of the street for a moment.
We can, or I can speak as we go. It's
If we can do it carefully,
it's not safe here. It's not safe anywhere, but it's worse on this side. And honey, sorry, if we can pause for 1 second. One of the things I left out that you noticed as Feldspar was flying you all over, and that you saw in the orb. So there's a great chasm below the city where it's kind of anchored to the river Styx. And out of the chasm, you see dark, fiendish creatures pouring, and there's a huge battle going on beneath the city. So there are some fiends who are up in the city itself, but you see, especially from your time of war, it looks kind of like the illustrations from the war from 100 years ago, where you have two kind of huge fronts of a battle clashing in this space.
Is it?
And
Does Garreth know, like, flying in from Feldspar's vantage point? Could Garreth pick out sides or characteristics of the sides that are engaged?
Yeah. So you see demons and devils fighting. So demons are pouring out of a chasm, fighting devils who have their backs to the city.
And when you say backs to the city is on chains, chained above the river Styx. Are the demons pouring out of the river Styx? Or, like, I'm just trying to...
There's a chasm a bit beyond the river.
Okay. And the devils are at the breach.
Between the breach and the river.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Very heavy metal.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's cool. It's so hard to like capture because like the experience would be so immediate. I don't understand how you're supposed to like, oh yes, below me, 500 feet on the floor, there are devils and demons engaging in the blood war. Meanwhile, I'm getting attacked by a beard. Like that would be so distracting. Anyway, can I look over Harkina's stuff again really fast?
Sure. Can we find a place outside of, like, not in the street and just to reorient ourselves? Would that be appropriate in this moment?
Yeah. Why don't you roll a survival check?
Oh, goodness. By the flame of the forge, I hope we can find a place to have a moment of respite. If it will project to my sheet, what the heck? Oh gosh. Here we go. Rolling the dice. I rolled an 11 initially, and I'm rolling a d4 to add to... Wait. Whoa.
Oh. So 12?
I don't know. I rolled... It just stuttered. Our internet is doing what it does.
Or internet, yeah.
If you let me roll with advantage, because I'm with the party, then it would be a 18. If not, it would be a 12.
Okay. I'm going to say since everyone's kind of focused on each other, you're the one who's making this roll, but 12 is enough to find, like, amidst the ruins of this city, a place to shelter for... Are you trying to take a short rest, or are you trying to, like, just get your bearings?
We're trying to get our bearings and talk to this person without I don't know if it's enough for a short rest because we're super on guard.
I want to know how long you're trying to take.
We need like a 15-minute conversation to get oriented, so I think that's too short for a short rest.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So yes, she relays that most of the people in Beacon died when the city was drawn to the negative planes. And then many more have died in the days since from the attacks, lack of food and water, and collapse of buildings. And so as you all leave and try to find a place to shelter, you see a great pillar that once marked a proud street of Beacon that's fallen. It's knocked over a tree. It seems to have penned someone beneath it. You see, Garreth, kind of to your horror, armies of soldiers from the Army of Light, bodies of soldiers from the Army of Light, just kind of lying abandoned in the street. Although you check them, they're not Patrick, much to your relief. Yeah.
I would also, as we go by, I would... Is there a way that we could have a conversation like this and continue moving towards the eye and
That's what Harkina wants to do. She's not really interested in stopping.
Okay, so we're going to do that, and we're all going to pay special attention to the body under the pillar. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. It just seems to be important.
Oh, you see a crushed body under a pillar? It's horrifying.
We see if there's anything of use that we can gather that's not going to be disruptive or seem cool or in bad taste.
Okay, you examine this person's leg?
Not just this person, but also all the area around us.
Okay, roll an investigation check.
Nat 20.
Okay. It seems as though the soldiers for the Army of Light have been stripped of their weapons and implements of Ilona. So they are wearing armor, no weapons. It looks like one of them was struck by lightning. You see another body that a building collapsed on top of. Two of the other soldiers look as though they died from wounds similar to those that befell Evelyn and Tessina, as well as they have some swollen marks on their necks. It looks like they maybe got stung by the beards.
So sad.
And Harkina says to you, we really must hurry. We can't tarry. More things come up here all the time.
Yes, of course. Let's go.
It is possible. It was rumored, at least we saw one or two who were able to make it over the bridge, and they said that the Raven is here from respite and that he might be able to help us.
Yes, we heard the same.
It would make sense for him to be at the High Hall too, where your son is, would it not?
I only hope that my son is in the company of the Raven.
How did you... Well, we'll speak when we get to the High Hall.
How did I what as we go?
Oh. How did you arrive here?
It's been a long and strange journey, trust me. And your name is?
Oh, Harkina Hunt. These are my sons. Something and something. I know so much about Harkina, but not her kids' names.
Please.
Lulu and Rhea.
As we carefully make our way through the streets towards the bridge. As we do that, Harkina, tell me everything that you know. I didn't even learn that Beacon had fallen until refugees started showing up against the walls of Respite and were persecuted. My son served in the army of the light, and I'm still trying to understand the events that transpired. I understand that the second son started
fell into darkness and attacked us, and there was a great quake. Parts of the outskirts of the island fell into the sea. Giant waves claimed them, and the screaming was terrible. We saw pillars fall from the high hall and smash onto the ground. Garreth, roll a d20 for me.
A d20. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a natural 1.
Okay. And so Evelyn whispers to you, I did learn a new spell that might help us here. If you want me to try it, it will help shield our steps.
Okay.
All right. So Evelyn's going to cast Pass Without Trace on the collection of you. And so you see shadow foxes kind of frolicking around your party, but a kind of personal cloud seems to follow you across the sky as you steal across the city streets, and can make out in the distance smoke rising above the eye of the Ilona Bridge. Making your way straight to the bridge.
Can you show us the map again?
Yes. Just so you know, it's totally fine if that's the case. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. So here's the city. Harkina says to you, she talks to you about the city being split in two and one of the southern bridges being burnt impassable, and then falling with one of the regiments just into the river Styx below, as like parts of the southern pieces of the city have kind of crumbled and fallen. So they were defending the bridge, but it was overwhelmed, and they fell to their deaths. And the swarms of demons and devils have been gathering for since the city arrived, as far as she understands. But she and her sons have been sheltering most of this time.
Akina, where are you from in Beacon? What was your trade before everything went to hell?
I lived in the market district, but my partner served in the I just totally blanked on the not infantry part of the army. Whatever the distance
Cavalry?
people are.
Oh,
No, that's the horses.
The archers?
Yep. My partner served with the archers.
And your partner... ...
Oh, died a few years ago.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. And you've heard from your son? That's how you know that he is in the High Hall?
No.
How did he get a message to you?
We talked to a tree. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I trust the tree explicitly.
Oh.
Can I ask a question? So, this crazy conflagration in the market area. Do we see like a pillar of smoke and craziness over there? And like Garreth wouldn't think that.
I think there's smoke and craziness everywhere. Do you want to investigate or no?
I mean, if Garreth knows that there's a bridge here at the Eye of Alona, then he's going to make his way there. Because it seems like the most direct path, and so we're going to go that way as carefully as possible.
Okay. So as you make your way through the city streets, you see a charred humanoid corpse in the middle of the street, clutching a silvered longsword in its hand.
A charred humanoid. Is it standing there? Is it moving?
It's dead. Corpse. So it's not going anywhere, but it's just kind of lying in the street, clutching a sword.
Tessina, is this figure, I don't know, still with us? And so she's going to use whatever witchy magic she has.
His spirit is gone, but an enchantment remains? Somewhere. We should be careful getting too close. With the swords, but another. He does have the scent of magic, about him.
Unless any of you all have need of a special sword, I'm a little bit more of a blunt object. So I'm going to give it a birth. And Garreth is going to crab walk around.
Okay. Cool. So everybody carefully walks around the guy.
Yeah, unless somebody feels like they need a silver sword, I think that we're going to avoid the scariness and pick our battles with this one.
Okay. So
actually,
Evelyn,
I'm sorry.
Um,
Can I alter a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
At a bit of a range, with everyone super ready for any shenanigans, I think Garreth is going to say, I mean, it's not like we could touch it without touching the... And Tessina is going to realize that she now has Mage Hand, and she's going to try to use Mage Hand to, wiggle the tip of the sword.
Okay.
And try to... Yeah.
When the tip of the sword, wiggle, 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 a gout of hellfire erupts from the body. But it doesn't go far enough to strike anyone besides the already charred corpse.
Can she use her mage hand to drag it towards us?
Mm-hmm. And Tessina, roll a perception check for me.
Oh, goodness. Here we go. Oh, 14.
Okay. I'll say that that's enough. So, Tessina, as you're pulling the sword, and as the charring kind of calms down, You ignore the stench that clouds your nostrils. You see something shiny in this man's belt. So after you acquire a silvered longsword, honey, do you want to record that in your accessories?
Woo! Yes.
Ticina has also found a bright blue sparkly vial.
Cool. Silver.
And Evelyn, with her nat 20 Arcana check, says, Ticina, that's a potion of frost giant strength that could come incredibly in handy.
Yay.
Okay, did you get your 2 accessories?
So Garreth has added his longsword that's silvered, and Ticina is adding her potion of frost giant.
Strength.
Cool.
Do you want it?
I'm just Ticina and Garreth are both right here on my screen, and so like for right now, I just gave them that for. It's a lot of inventory management in the moment, but I think that we'll distribute stuff at a convenient time.
Perfect.
So we will continue apace, keeping an eye out for any weirdness or any danger as we slowly and carefully approach the Bridge of Destruction.
The bridge of Khazad-dûm.
The Bridge of Destruction.
A rift in the earth divides Elturel into 2 sections. The riotous din of the battle taking place far below the city is louder here, echoing up and through the jagged, open chasm. A bridge 20 feet wide and more than 100 feet long spans the chasm. Holy runes etched into the stonework of the bridge indicate that the structure has been consecrated in the name of Ilona, the Titan of Light. 6 infernal creatures stand guard at the center of the bridge, scanning in all directions.
6 are in front of the bridge?
So the bridge is 20 feet wide and 100 feet long. They're standing smack in the middle.
Are they facing my direction, or are they kind of half and half?
Half and half. Harkina kind of elbows you and says, "This is why no one has been able to get across. Why, well, the few forces who were over here, most have died. There's not been enough food."
What are those things? And Garreth will take another look. Are they bearded devils? Like 6 of them?
Roll a perception check, Garreth.
By the forge of the fire, I swear I'd want to know what they are. Can I roll my d4 for guidance?
Mm-hmm.
Perception. Oh, come on.
You can roll with advantage since you have the party, and like you guys are hidden.
I rolled a 3 and a 5.
Okay. Well, so you see 2 bearded devils.
I rolled a 1 with my guidance, so the best that I have right now is a total of 6.
You see 2 bearded devils and 4 of something else.
I just, it's pretty unclear.
Just as you guys are looking, some like flames burst up from below. It looks terrible. Garreth,
This bridge seems to suck.
Do you have proficiency in Arcana, History, or Religion?
I have it in history.
Okay. Make an intelligence check. Or, sorry, history is wisdom. Make a history check.
History is intelligence.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, do you want me to make a history check or an intelligence check?
You said you have proficiency in history?
I do.
That one, please.
Okay, history check. Here we go. 16.
That's one above what you needed. Garreth, as you study the bridge, something from your early days of training in this very city flickers back into your mind. In the days before you chose Vulcan as your deity to serve, you considered, like many young children in Beacon, a life serving the Titan of Light. And so you recognize the runes on the bridge. Those etched into the stonework can be activated to produce a radiant energy harmful to fiends and undead. A special prayer to Alona that could be activated should the city fall into foul hands.
Wow, that's exactly the situation.
The runes would activate for 1 minute. And while they are activated, any fiend or undead creature that begins its turn in contact with the bridge takes radiant damage. Although once activated, the runes will need time to recharge. And that's where we're going to stop.
Oh.
I want to be able to make you a cool bridge map.
Yeah, of course. Real quick, does Garreth... So does Garreth know how to activate the runes? Or is that something we have to figure out next time?
You know, you rolled high enough. You recall the special prayer. That,
okay.
That baby Beaconite soldiers. Yeah, baby Beaconite soldiers learn. So, oh goodness.
Our pink belly.
It's possible that it would just kill them.
Don't tell me that.
Well, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't, like, prolonging something that's not meant to... Sorry, do you want to keep going? Or do you want to stop with the bridge?
I'm ready. We're ready to fight our way across the bridge.
Okay. As you stare across the bridge, do you utter the prayer?
As we look across the bridge and this idea occurs to me, and I look to my companions, and they seem like they're ready for, like, we've, like, girded our collective loins are all girded for a conflict to go across the bridge by any means necessary. I mutter my prayer.
Got the 2 little boys.
I mutter my prayer to Alona, and I just... And we charge.
Okay. Garreth, roll 4d10.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I've been rolling so bad tonight. Here we go. Oh. 22 total.
You know, that's exactly the average. So as you give your warrior's cry and begin sprinting across the bridge, you see the 2 bearded devils turn in your direction as the whole bridge bursts forth with radiant white light. And the 4 spindly-looking creatures, who, now that you see them again, you saw spine devils before, didn't you? Yeah, they almost killed you. You remember these purple evil dinosaurs.
Yeah.
All 4 of them keel over to the side. Dead.
Cool.
And that's where we'll stop.
Oh!
And so that way I can make a cool bridge map for you.
Love it. I like having the home.
Cool.
Like, it's kind of cool to have the suddenly and unexpectedly the home terrain. Like they've drugged this whole place into hell, and then I can be like, guess what, suckers?
Yeah.
Flip the...
I think it was a really cool addition that they had.
Yeah. Cool.
Yay. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We super appreciate it. And for those of you watching later, we hope that you enjoy the replay. Thank you for that, too. We would love for you to like and subscribe or follow or whatever the button below asks you to do.
Do you talk about how wonderful our patrons are?
I was just about to do that. Would you like to?
No, it's you.
And we also wanted to extend a special thank you to our amazing patrons. We really, really appreciate your support and for making this stream happen. It's so much fun, and we hope that you all are enjoying it, and we love sharing this with you. So if you would like to join us on Patreon, you can at patreon.com/GroveGuardianPress. And we'll see you all next week. Wait, is next Friday Halloween?
Not yet. It's only September.
Oh my gosh.
So,
what a weird year. We've lost a month. Just kidding. Okay. Sorry. I got a little ahead of myself. I'm so happy it's fall. Now I feel really silly. Okay. October 2nd, though. That's
yes.
next week.
October 2nd. We'll see you all at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we just want to say thank you for hanging out with us in the stream and hanging out with us on YouTube and your comments and everything. So appreciated. We just love you all. It gives us life and gives us energy, and thank you. And look out for a new one-on-one adventure for our patrons coming very soon to our Patreon. Less than a week, you will get the next adventure in our Land of Vampires series.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Cool. Thank you all. Bye, everybody.